Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Jen Martian and today we're going to be discussing the other version of X-Men deck, which is Awakening. So for Awakening, most of the time you would need to have a lot of copies of the Wolverine 5 cost because it's gonna be your main weapon for the deck. But in any case, let's go to the deck and then I'll discuss how I built my version. All right. Okay, so here's the deck list. But first, we need to explain like what the awaken mechanic is. So let's go to Beast here. It says that awaken take effect permanently after taking the action 3 times in the game. So this 3 times is accumulated during the course of the game. You don't need to use the character to attack 3 times in one round. It doesn't matter, so it's cumulative. All right. So the core cards for this deck is supposedly Wolverine, this Wolverine here, and the other Wolverine here. Angel is also a very good mid mid round carry in a way. So, but you need to get him at the start. So let's discuss Angel first because that's what we have 4 copies of. Basically, Angel is your Adam Warlock for X-Men. It says here that when he's awakened, at the start of the preparation phase, he will give all awakened units +6 power. So yeah, basically an Adam Warlock ability, and also increases as his star level grows. Getting him early is very beneficial to you also if you can get him to be awakened as early as possible. So how do you get to awaken your characters early? What you can do is normally just put them in front so they attack first. Also, we have this card, which is the To Me My X-Men card. It gives your X-Men characters plus awaken count. So with this, you can easily get them to 3 count so that they're awakened easily. Also, it gives you a boost, a refresh, a free refresh for the shop. So that's 2 cost, a refresh, and a free awaken count. Very good card. You need 4 copies of it. Alright. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I think these 2 Wolverine will be your main cards. Why did I mention that? Here, Wolverine has the awaken ability of gaining power. So this is kind of like the ability of Daredevil, where at the start of the end of preparation phase, he gets an increased power, and it increases quite significantly when you get him to 4-star. So if you have 4 copies of this at the early stage, if you can get the 4 copies immediately, his power will boost so much. So I mean, if you can get him early game, well and good. If not, then you will need to go to your second option, which is the other Wolverine. Also, he has this recovery damage, so he has innate healing ability, which is very good. All right. And then here in the other 3 slot, we are using 1 Adamantium Claws. You can give it to any unit, but most preferably to another Wolverine, as it gives you 12 power. Very powerful for a 3 cost, but every time you attack, you get damaged by 5. So it just kills you. So just 1 is enough. You don't need a lot of it. The other 1-star here, the other 2 cost I mean, is Beast. You can put 1 copy of him only. I chose to put 2 because sometimes I need him if I don't get any good cards. In that case, if I have 2 stars, I would at least get an 18 power 2 cost card. So at least it would help me build on my early game. So yeah, but if you're confident in your deck and you are going to be getting your good cards, 1 copy of this beast is fine as well. The other equipment that we have for 4 cost, we just don't use the other cards. I think this is the best one you can get, which is an X-Men buckle, where it gives you +4, which is weak. But this one, after the equipped character attacks, if they are awakened, the equipped unit is awakened, and it gives all other awakened friendly units +6 power. So it's just another boosting card, boosting weapon effect. It's pretty okay late game. It doesn't give you a lot of power. Plus 6 power sometimes is negligible at the late games. So 1 copy is enough. So what you would want to have as your weapon at the end game is a Muramasa Blade, where it automatically gives you critical hit. This critical hit is already key to one of your to key to your games. Plus 15 power is also good, and this defeat and the plus 15 power is just a plus. The critical hit is what you want, because most of the time you would be building up your power anyway. That critical hit would ensure you doing double damage. So that's why. Also, for the 5 cost, now these are the key cards. Professor, we'll go to Professor X first. You don't need a lot of copy of him. I have 4 copies, but I'm only putting 2. He gives you additional copies of To Me My X-Men. This is going to be especially helpful during that is the only purpose of Professor X, is your auto generation of To Me My X-Men. Why do you need this To Me My X-Men? Because of your other keycard, which is this Wolverine, which you need 4 copies of. Hopefully you have 4 copies, but I don't have yet. I only have 3, so that's why I'm only putting 2. The extra copy would just mess up with my deck, rotation and card pool. So his special ability here says that Invocation, give the adjacent awakened characters -1 awakened count. So it is a debuff. So you're gonna remove their awakened state. They're gonna go back to 2 awakened count. But then Wolverine will be gaining half of those characters' total power. So he's just gonna grow big. That's the idea. Every time you use him, so if you have like 4 copies of him, you can potentially do it 4 times, and he's gonna balloon up into like a super big unit. And then at Awaken, look at this. After attacking, recover all damage this card took. Basically, he just goes back to his full HP. Imagine if you can get him to like 300, 400, 800, 1000, whatever. He just goes back to his full HP after he attacks. So this is gonna be your key card in winning games, right? So just boost his power up. Now, like I mentioned, why you need a combination of this Professor X is that after you place Wolverine down, he does a minus awaken count to 2 of your units, because you're most likely gonna put him in the middle of 2 awakened units. You can immediately use the To Me My X-Men and give them awakened status again. That's why I have Professor X here. It's not required, it's not mandatory, but it helps on your building process. Now here we have Nightcrawler. Even though he is at 6 cost and his ability is kind of weird, he has an Assault, Take Action, Annihilate, which means he goes first, which is very good. And he has an Awaken ability of, after taking damage, he gains 20 power, and then he leaves the battlefield. That is provided he lives on his first attack, initial attack. And then after the next opponent takes action, if they are still alive, this card returns back to the battlefield and attack that opponent, that enemy, immediately without taking damage. So if you are quite confused on what this means, the most interesting explanation I can give you is it will kill No Way Home Spider-Man. Because most of the time, they will have their No Way Home Spider-Man using, let's say, he has an equip, probably a special action, right? So when they attack, they will be vulnerable, what do you call this? He will spawn back because they are surely alive, and then he will attack them directly, ignoring all other guard units. So this Nightcrawler is your summoner killer, basically. Right? So that's his purpose. If your opponent doesn't have that, you don't need to put in Nightcrawler. But if they have the summoners, have Nightcrawler in. I don't think, the only thing that he's gonna have a hard time killing is probably Loki, the big Loki. But in any case, he's still a pretty good fit for this deck. Alright, now let's go on to our supporting cards. Iron Man, for me, it's just economy again. If you've been watching my other videos, most of the time I just put him here for economy. You might want, if you have another preference of other supporting cards, that's you can do so, but this is just me. And then for the other supporting card, I have Spider-Man. just so that I can have like Venom Mysterio or Silk. Most of the time I'm just using Venom Mysterio so that I can have like 2 guard, because as I mentioned before, in X-Men they don't really have any units with guard. So I'm using this to have Venom Mysterio. Also, Web Snare is very helpful. So basically that's just my purpose for Spider-Man, and also the occasional where is that? This one, Web Warrior, that you can get like a free refresh. So occasional stuff. So the main skill, hero skill that you would want to have here is the where is that? This one, Adamantium Claws. You give your X-Men character puncture. So either this one or the Phoenix Burst, which gives you additional action. But in my opinion, I think this one is better, since you're gonna be having red units that have a very high power, and then combine it with puncture, you can just melt down any unit. So yeah, so this is just my opinion for the better skill to get. Okay, and then wait, I forgot about this one. The neutral card is just any other card. Just get Rallying Cry to fetch those other units that you're missing, and then healing and another economy for urgent shrink. Yep. So basically, this is the deck. Let's now dive into the gameplay video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Break time's over. Gotcha.
This might sting.
Yeah, gotcha. Here comes Wolverine. I use this. You mess with Wolverine. Out for blood. Tear you apart. Out for blood. Yeah, gotcha.